Hey, is this thing on?
Okay, this one's going to be a longer one, but please bear with me. This is important. Today, the United States Air Force lost 2 aircraft over Iran. An F-15E fighter jet was shot down by Iranian air defenses over southwestern Iran. A second aircraft, an A-10 Warthog, went down near the Strait of Hormuz, just right around the same time. Now, one crew member thankfully has been rescued, but the second is still missing. 2 rescue helicopters were sent in to find them, and they were also hit by Iranian fire. That's today. That's right now. Now, I want to take you back to February 27th, because what happened today didn't have to happen. On February 27th, one day before this war started, the foreign minister of Oman, Badr Albusaidi, sat down with CBS News host Margaret Brennan on Face the Nation. Albusaidi wasn't just an observer, he was the mediator. He had been sitting in the room with both sides for 3 rounds of talks. He had just left Geneva. He had just met with Vice President J.D. Vance. And here is what he said on the record the day before the bombs dropped. He said Iran had agreed that it would, quote, never, ever have nuclear material that could create a bomb. He said Iran's existing enriched uranium stockpiles would be blended to the lowest level possible, converted into fuel, and that conversion would be irreversible. He said Iran had agreed to give UN nuclear inspectors full access to every site. He said, and this is him, the mediator, on American television, quote, a peace deal is within our reach. He said they just needed a few more months to finalize the details. So talks were scheduled to resume March 2nd. The bombs dropped the next morning. Now, the White House will tell you that the talks had failed, that Iran wasn't serious, that the threat was real and imminent. So let's just look at who is telling them that. Trump's lead negotiator was Steve Witkoff, real estate developer, no diplomatic experience, no nuclear expertise. He and Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law, also not a diplomat, also not a nuclear expert, told the White House on the eve of the war that Iran was using the talks to buy time, that there was no chance of a deal. The Omani foreign minister, the actual mediator, who was in the actual room, said the opposite. A British senior advisor who also sat in on the final rounds of talks said the opposite. Multiple Gulf diplomats said the opposite, and Trump listened to Witkoff and Kushner. When asked later by CNBC how he thought the war would end, Witkoff said, quote, I don't know, Sarah. What the fuck? This man helped start a war, and he doesn't know how it ends? Okay, now here's where I have to pause because I want to be fair. When George W. Bush and Dick Cheney took us into Iraq, I thought it was the worst foreign policy decision in my lifetime. But at least, and I cannot believe I'm saying at least they committed to a story. Weapons of mass destructions. See, they knew Hans Blitz said that he couldn't find any, but they didn't care. They had one lie and they stuck to it. You ask this administration why we went to war with Iran, and you will get a different answer every single fucking time. Pete Hegseth called it a holy war. Trump said it was about nuclear weapons. Then it was about missiles. Then a regime change. Then, and I'm not making this up, securing Iran's natural resources. They couldn't even organize a coherent lie. And here's the thing about the nuclear justification, specifically Trump's own intelligence community contradicted it. The 2026 U.S. Worldwide Threat Assessment published by Tulsi Gabbard's office said Iran had not made a decision to build a nuclear weapon. It said Iran's missile capabilities couldn't threaten the continental United States until 2035 at the earliest. The war started February 28th. The intelligence said 2035. Today, Iran still has approximately half of its missile launchers, half of its kamikaze drones, and that's not a number I'm pulling out of my ass. That's the U.S. intelligence assessment. So the whole obliteration thing, That's a bullshit lie since day one. It was a sales pitch, not a result. 13 US soldiers are dead. More than 2,000 Iranians are dead. Oil is at $111 a barrel. And somewhere right now, a family is waiting for the news about that crew member who is still missing. Because on February 27th, Badr al-Albusaidi stood up from the negotiating table in Geneva, gave a thumbs up to the cameras, flew to Washington, sat down with Vice President of the United States, went on national television and said peace was within our reach. And someone chose war anyway. You can't unsee what they do and you can't unhear what they say, but you can vote. Please share this. Spread the word. This shit's got to stop.